Hello, beautiful souls. It is such a joy, such a pleasure to be jumping on this live with you right now. And I am super excited to share what's coming up, what we got going on November 26th, this Saturday. And I wanted to start off with seeing where you guys are from, where you're tuning in from. So leave a comment here in the chat with your country's flag. You can write it in as well if you choose to do so. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I'm personally here in Mexico, in Merida, and I'm really excited to be here with you all. So drop that comment in the chat. It's me, Lina V, as you know, and today we're gonna go really quickly, deeply, as you know, that's my favorite thing to do, dive in deep, and share some personal things in kind of giving you an idea, kind of an exclusive take on why I have actually been organizing these masterminds and what's coming up and what you can be excited about, what's in store for you in the next one. And let's start off kind of with a little bit of a story. So I want to take you all to 2020. Right, 2020 I think was a big year for many of us, but for me it really signified a deep breaking. And I had started off being, an entrepreneur about, let's say, 4 years prior to that. And I was living this fast-paced life, right? I was traveling all the time, going to conferences. I had started my business, which I kind of honestly had no idea what I was doing. And I was just going really with the flow. And so 2020, the pandemic hit, and a lot of us, including myself, were forced to make some big life changes, big life decisions. And for me, what I had kind of proposed to do was, to start to explore myself a little bit deeper. But instead, I started filling out my days with even more work and even more projects. So, imagine this, I'm sitting here and at my desk, I don't have to go anywhere because you're not allowed to. And instead of starting to take care of myself a little bit more and, had this goal of saying, now is really the time, I'm going to explore myself, I'm going to do more yoga, I'm going to get into some things that are good for my well-being. I didn't think I was allowed to do that. So I started working even more. And so my days looked like this. I would wake up in the morning, I would have a coffee, I would have a client call 5 minutes later. I'd be super drowsy and somehow I would make it happen. Then I would have another client call. I would go and make a video. I would go to the gym. I would go and have another call. I would barely have any time to eat my lunch because what I prioritized was my business and my work. How many of you can relate to this where you said, yes, I'm gonna get to relax once I do X. I'll relax once I have this amount in my bank account. I'll relax when I've finished up this exercise or I finish off this task for the day. And then suddenly it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you say, okay, I'll sleep tomorrow. And then you wake up super early and the cycle repeats. So this is what was happening for me in my life. I thought that I wasn't allowed to take care of myself until I had reached some sort of external validation from my business, whether that was a monetary sum in my bank account, whether it was the number of clients I had, whether it was, some sort of stamp of recognition. And what that led to was I suddenly broke down. I had an emotional burnout and I had to start therapy. I had a physical burnout where all of a sudden there was a week where I really could barely get out of bed. I had to, that was the time I took care of myself. That was my self-care week when it was already too late. So physically, mentally, emotionally, I was at my wit's end. But I didn't have the tools or the knowledge of how to get out of this loop. How many of you have ever been burnt out? Where you've just been tired, exhausted, you're done mentally, physically, emotionally. And for how many of you has that happened more than once? This is the thing. Getting burnt out has to do with how you're living your life. It's not just like, for example, you catch a cold because you went out and accidentally got in touch with somebody who had a cold, and then it's there for 4 days and you probably don't get sick for a while. This pattern comes from the way that you live your life. And so if you want to have changes, this is what I discovered, is if I wanted to really have a life that was balanced, if I wanted to have a life that was fulfilling, which meant that I was able to be present when I was out with my friends because I wasn't tired, I wasn't exhausted, I wasn't, thinking about work all the time and obsessed with doing. It meant that I was healthy, that I wasn't constantly getting sick, that I wasn't constantly getting frustrated and angry because I wasn't taking care of my fundamental needs. And it meant for me really having success also in my business. And so I remember this one day when I got to the Dominican Republic actually, and I met my partner there for a holiday. And I had been to the supermarket, and all of a sudden I had this anxiety attack when I came back. And I didn't understand what was going on. And he helped me realize that it was because of the way I had been living my life for so long. I was going and going and going, and my heart, my mind, my body, everything could no longer take it anymore. And so I share this story with you because that was really the beginning of a journey that led to a full transformation. And looking at my life now, you all know me, you see it. There is balance. I live a holistic life where I have a family, I have friends, I spend time with them. They are my number one priority. And I'm still leading a successful business. I have clients who are working with me. I have projects coming in all the time. And my internal state, most importantly, I am looking after myself so that everybody around me, all of these things on the outside are a consequence of that. And it took me a long time to realize that. And so what really helped me was understanding there are some fundamental tools that I needed to implement into my life and how I was leading that. And I want to share those with you today as well. So one of the key things that really helped me was implementing a spiritual practice. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to be religious or spiritual or, that's just the name that I use for it. But it's having a practice, having a sacred moment for yourself in every single day where you take time to connect with you. So that it was the biggest thing. And then also further exercises that came from yoga. I took time to meditate and implemented these really simple tools. Like some of these practices really only take 5 minutes. And I spread them out into my days, and the effects were just astounding. Especially having a baby right now, like a lot of people keep telling me, Lina, I don't know how you do this. I don't know how you can have a small child and be having a relationship and be running your business, because only me and my partner are the primary people who take care of him. He doesn't go to kindergarten, he doesn't go anywhere else, he's with us, and we spend real quality time with him. And so I share this with you because it's possible. It really is possible for you. And I'm going to actually be taking you through how to implement these very tools that helped me in my life to lead a life where I knew how to balance my self-care and have a successful business. Because honestly, for the longest time, I didn't think it was possible. And so if you're anything like me and you've experienced this constant loop of burnout, this constant imbalance of, man, if I'm doing well in my business, I'm sacrificing my well-being. And as soon as I'm taking care of my well-being, my business is suffering. What's happening here? If you think even just a little bit that, I think it's possible that I can have a life where all of the elements, all of the things that I value, that are important to me and that help me be, healthy and successful and thriving are in place, then you're on the right track already. And so what I want to do is take you even deeper and share with you the actual tools, as I said, that are going to help you to do that. And so where am I going to be doing this? When am I going to be doing this? You may have seen last month I launched the Language Coach or Language Educator Wellness and Business Mastermind. And it was an amazing event, let me tell you. You can see it as well on the page. I'm going to link it to you in a moment. But all of the feedback we received was beyond what I could have imagined. And I just feel so grateful to be able to live out my calling. How it all started and why this is happening and is going to continue happening was because I had this revelation come to me and this moment of understanding, why I had been through all these things I had been through and what all these challenges were trying to tell me. And what I realized was that particularly, for the language industry, whether you are a coach, whether you are an educator, an entrepreneur in the space of language learning and language education, there is very little assistance that is provided to us when it comes to how to balance out having a successful business and how to take care of ourselves. The standards for running your business are very low, and the tools that are provided for your well-being are even less. And so I realized that I needed to go and share this with people. Because what's the point of me just, living this great life? And I'm not saying it's not full, it doesn't have its challenges, but the fundamental pillars of my life are there and they're so strong that it makes it so much easier for me to face situations now that previously would have caused me to end up a week in my bed drinking alcohol every single night because I couldn't handle it. And so this is why I want to share this with you, because you don't have to do it alone. I didn't want to have to do it alone. And so I got help. And so if you have been wondering, how can I take care of myself? How does this align with my business and running that successfully? This is what this mastermind is for. I felt and saw the need to step up and step into this role of being that person, being that gate that opens up the two realms and says, hey, you don't need to keep struggling because look, these are the tools. This is where you can get the help and you don't have to do it alone. And so this Saturday, November 26th, is going to be the next mastermind, and the topic was chosen by you. So this is for the community, by the community. And so these are not just things that I'm pulling from the top of my head. You guys know, I asked you in the poll here on LinkedIn and on YouTube, and the results were astounding that the biggest topic that people wish they had support in right now was self-care in business. How do I take care of myself in my business? Because for a lot of you, I know you are your business, right? If you're a solopreneur, if you're a teacher, an educator, you most likely have maybe 1 to 2 team members, but a lot of you I know are doing everything by yourself. And so that's why it's even more important to understand and implement these tools that are going to help you take care of yourself in the long term, whilst ensuring that your business is also running successfully. Remember, you are your business. So if you're not okay, if you're not taking care of yourself, you're also simultaneously, automatically not taking care of your business. And that's for a lot of us our main bread and butter, right? And so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be sharing some exclusive content with you. In the last mastermind, I let you in on a little bit of a meditation made by Peter M. Lucas, who is the co-founder of our company. And his meditations have actually been featured in Mind Valley, one of the biggest global platforms for personal development. And so in this next mastermind, I'm going to be sharing the full meditation with you. So make sure that you come and experience this, because I can guarantee you it is going to be impactful. You're going to come away from this mastermind with tools that you can implement directly into your life. You're going to come away with practical things, insights that are going to really be revolutionary. And you're also going to meet people who are going to be able to support you, not just your coaches, aka me, but you're going to be exposed to a community of people who are on the same path as you, who are on the same trajectory, and who want to also elevate and set higher standards for themselves. And so we're going to help you do that. You're going to be exposed to some exclusive content that we have never shared before. So as I mentioned, the meditation. We also have workbooks. I'm going to take you through some simple exercises that you can do and you can implement directly afterwards. And there's so much more as well that's going to be just in the live session. So if you are feeling this, if you are ready, if this resonated with you, then mark it in your calendar and sign up to the Mastermind Self-Care in Business. It is happening this Saturday, the 26th of November, and you're going to have all of the details by clicking the link here. And if you're watching this on the replay, then you will have the link as well on my profile. So just the link is in my bio. And why I just want to really stress why it's so important to attend the live session is for two reasons. As I mentioned, the exclusive content that I'm going to be sharing with you, all of these tools that have helped me get to where I am, that I'm sharing with my clients, they usually cost $300 a month. So this is what my clients pay to gain access to this. And I'm going to be giving this to you all for free, right? There are no strings attached, no catches. Like, I'm sharing all of these things because, as I said, I have a mission, I have a purpose here in this world, and I want to make sure that you have access to the things that are going to help you elevate, and that access is simple and impactful, and that you are also astonished with value. That's what I want your experience to be, and I know it's going to be like that. As I said, we have testimonials from people who have taken part in our previous mastermind, so you can read them for yourself and gauge what it's going to be like for you. And exactly, as I said, it's a free event, and only the live session is going to be free. So please mark this in your calendars, sign up right now, and you will get access. You will see everything, what's going to happen there by clicking the link there. And yes, I cannot wait to see you on Saturday, November 26th for our Language Educator Wellbeing and Business Mastermind. Get ready to be inspired, to be impacted on a deep level, and I can guarantee you, as I said, it's really going to provide you with some amazing tools, with just some amazing gifts that you're going to be giving to yourself. It's a form of self-care, right? So click the link here. As I said, if you're watching this on a replay, you can click the link in my bio and it'll take you straight there. And then you'll see in your inbox some further information on how to join the session. And I cannot wait to see you there. So until then, everybody, have a beautiful day, night, afternoon, wherever you are. And I will see you at the Mastermind.